All right. Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in a few minutes, just letting people trickle in. Comment in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. Okay. New Jersey. Awesome. Nice. Virginia, Carlsbad. Yay, LA. Excellent. We'll get started in a few minutes. All right. Atlanta. Heard it's pretty hot there right now.
It's going to be 100 degrees in Raleigh, where I live today. It's like the hottest day, I think, ever for this, like the day, like June 14th. So glad I'm not in Raleigh today.
Wow.
I'm here. I live in Raleigh.
Oh, you do?
I haven't been outside very much today, so I can't speak to how hot it actually is.
I hope the AC is working well today.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, my dog is very sleepy. He is like barely moved all day.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Energy conservation mode.
Yeah, as we all are.
Yeah, totally.
All right, guys, I think we'll get started. Welcome and thank you so much for joining today. We're so excited for this panel discussion and think you'll learn a lot of valuable tips. So let's get started. All right, so to kick us off, my name is Samantha Samuels. I'm the head of partnerships here at FriendBuy, and I'll be your co-host today, along with Greg Bauman, who I will let introduce himself.
Yes, hey everyone, glad to be on today. I'm Greg, I'm Director of Ecosystem Partnerships here at Attentive and have been working with the FriendBuy team for a couple of years, so excited to chat.
Excellent, thanks Greg. And as you can see, Greg and I are joined today by Cassandra Reed, Jamie Cooper, and Carolyn Grana. So as a quick introduction, Cassandra is the Director of CRM at Ilia Beauty. Jamie is the Retention Marketing Manager at Drops, and Carolyn is the Director of Digital Experience at Natural Life. So we're going to hear from all of them about how they've grown through subscriber and referral acquisition with FriendBuy and Attentive. So before that starts, I have a few housekeeping items to cover. We will be giving away a pair of Apple AirPod Pros to the most engaged audience member today. So make sure to send your questions for the panelists in the chat. And if you can, please include the name of the panelist so we can address the question to that person directly. We'll have a live Q&A at the end, and we'll make sure to answer as many of these questions of your questions as we can. Also, Greg and I have a surprise announcement for you all today. So we're excited about that. All right. So I'm super excited to share that we've officially launched a new FriendBuy and Attentive integration available now in the Attentive App Store. So here's a quick look at some of the integration capabilities. You can now add email addresses and phone numbers captured through your referral program to Attentive, creating new subscriber profiles. You can also send referral links generated for each customer, and those will be added as custom attributes. And lastly, this is functionality I'm super excited about. You'll now be able to send referral and loyalty event data to Attentive, and you can trigger journeys off of these specific events, including when a customer has earned a reward through the referral or loyalty program, or trigger a journey once a customer has shared, and you can then thank them for sharing by sending them their referral link through a text message. Both teams are super, super excited about this integration. If you're a current FriendBuy or Attentive customer and you want to leverage the integration or learn more about it, please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager. If you're new to Attentive or FriendBuy, we'll be sending a link to more details following today's panel. We'll chat more about these updates and what this means for brands like yours in our panel today. Each brand joining us has launched the integration in beta, so we'll have a chance to hear their thoughts. So now, without further ado, let's get started. All right. So let's start off with learning a little bit more about our panelists. Can you share more about what your daily focuses are right now at your companies and what you love most about it? Jamie, let's start with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jamie. I do retention marketing at Drops, which is an eco-friendly, sustainable home cleaning product company. So we make everything from laundry detergent, dishwasher detergent, and we just launched some brand new products in the home category. So hand soap, air freshener, and dish spray. So that has been a big focus for me in the last few months, is rolling out those products, particularly to our existing customers and subscribers. But on a daily basis, I manage our SMS program with Attentive, our email marketing program, our referral program, and our loyalty points program.
Excellent. Thanks, Jamie. All right. How about Cass?
Oh, hey guys, I'm Cass. I'm the director of CRM at Ilia Beauty. Our whole spiel is we make clean skincare powered makeup. We're found online, Sephora, all those good places. And on a daily basis, I really focus on our CRM channels. So for us, that's primarily email and SMS. But I also have a hand in pretty much everything we do besides social and ads that helps convert and retain new customers online. I really love everything that I do. They don't pay me to say that. But probably my favorite part is having some very solid data to support your hunches and building really great experiences off of that.
Excellent. Thanks, Cass. And then Carolyn, how about you?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Carolyn. I'm the Director of Digital Experience at Natural Life. We are a women's lifestyle brand out of Jacksonville, Florida. We make everything from home and accessories, things from your home, clothing, perfect little gifts and things like that. And I am responsible for our acquisition, retention, and then e-commerce experience as well. So really anything involving digital, I have a hand in or someone on my team does. But I would say my favorite part of my job is exploring new channels and really leveraging them to their fullest ability and always testing and learning and analyzing that. So I think it's a really fun space that we get to play in, where things are always popping up and new technology, new challenges, solutions. But yeah, these are two of my favorite companies that we work with. Always had great experiences with both Attentive and FriendBuy. I'm super excited that the integration is so seamless. So excited.
Yay, so glad to hear that.
Awesome. Well, cool. Well, I'd love to continue to set the stage for the session today. And as a lot of us know, SMS has become more and more adopted over the last couple of years with the pandemic and everything, and even post-COVID. But there might be some people out there that haven't started their SMS program, or maybe are just getting started. So would love to hear from all of you. How are you guys currently leveraging your SMS program, and are there any specific problems that it's solving for your business? And let's start with Cass.
Sure. So our company is really more in the realm of sending fewer, better messages. We don't really text just to send a box. We like to make sure that it's really adding value to our customer and that they're engaged with what we're saying. Fortunately, our most loyal customers are also our SMS customers. And with that, we try to give them first access to things. We make sure that they're the first to hear about our sales and our launches. We give them special GWP notifications, occasionally private events, that kind of thing. But we've also started going a little bit beyond that and have been trying to use more flows. So we're trying to do things like if someone purchases a specific product, maybe we'll serve them a lookbook or something like that that complements their order or suggests new things. It's really just trying to make sure that people feel connected with us, because every time we text, we're interrupting their daily life, and we want to make sure that they're happy to hear from us.
Definitely, yeah. We all look at our text messages, so got to make sure it's timely and relevant. Carolyn, how about you?
Yeah, we are very lucky. We've always had a very loyal audience, and our CEO, she founded the company about 25 years ago and is still very integral to the daily operations of the company. So she's been really amazing at like humanizing the brand and putting so much care and attention and love into each and every detail. So I think that's part of the reason why we have such a loyal following. It's like a very authentic brand. Where people feel like they're already part of this community. So we're very lucky that we have a broad assortment of items also, and a reasonable price point. So we have a lot of messages and a lot of expansion for products. So we just found that there were more messages that we wanted to get out outside of email and kind of break through the noise and connect directly with people. So we also use it as a bit of a VIP platform and just getting out the strongest messages or most relevant, valuable things. And we've seen really strong performance from the retention basis, people coming back more frequently, buying more. We were really blown away by the results and performance. We didn't really expect the AOV and everything to be so high, since it is such a mobile platform, but it's a very loyal group and high conversion rate. So it's been a really valuable channel for us.
No, that's awesome. I'm hearing some trends here. So most loyal customers are subscribing for SMS, leveraging it as a VIP channel. Jamie, is that similar for you?
Yeah, I would describe our SMS marketing strategy as an extension of what we've been doing on email. And, kind of the main difference between email and SMS is that you are, right on their phone, buzzing a notification that, on email is probably going unread. But I think the strength of a platform like Attentive is that anything you can automate with a tool like Klaviyo, for example, on email, you can build that on Attentive as well. So our strategy on both email and SMS is very automation forward, and trying to branch and personalize as much as possible. As an SMS marketer, I subscribe to a lot of brands' SMS marketing. And so I probably know more than most people how annoying it is to constantly get texts from businesses that are not really relevant to you. So the more data we can collect to send information when it's relevant, and recommendations that are actually relevant, related to when you last purchased, what you purchased, and your behaviors on site, has really helped our performance. And then even outside of that personalization, just being able to reach people directly on their phone is really powerful. We've noticed our welcome SMS conversion rate. That first message is 7 times our normal site-wide conversion rate, just because people are really ready and they get that message and they go back and shop. So it's definitely a really strong channel for us.
That's awesome. Thanks, Jamie.
Awesome. So yeah, and as we're seeing too, customer acquisition costs are skyrocketing with paid channels. Just curious, what problem has your referral program helped solve for your businesses? Yeah, let's start with Cass.
I think especially right now with how much advertising costs have gone up, it's just a really cost-effective way to bring in more customers, and there's that credibility there. You have a friend vouching for your products and for your brands, and there's really nothing better that you could ask for as far as bringing in new customers.
Definitely. I think, yeah, that's a great point. I think, word of mouth really, really helps from a, new customer acquisition perspective, but also like higher lifetime value, we've seen when customers are acquired through a referral from a friend. Awesome. Yeah, Jamie, how about you?
Yeah, we're probably all going to say similar things here, but acquisition costs are definitely going up. So as that happens, these lower cost channels are becoming more and more important to us. So we're definitely looking for ways to expand the volume coming in through our referral program and put it in front of more people. And even in the last few months, our priorities have really shifted to taking the time to optimize what our incentives are for friends and advocates and how we can best leverage the program, because it is that much more important to us. And every friend who's referred through a tool like FriendBuy is someone we don't have to spend a lot of money to acquire on Facebook.
Awesome. Yep, makes sense. Caroline, how about you?
Yeah. So for us, it definitely all the same things previously said, but also just leveraging that sense of community again. We have heard for years people sharing organically in their own circles and groups, and people reaching out asking if there was some sort of reward structure for that. So it's something that we wanted to do for a really long time, but we're never able to prioritize it. And then once the pandemic really hit and we had so much shift to our e-commerce site, it became the right time to really roll something out formally and be able to reward our loyal customers, and then have them reach out to their friends and give them incentivizations as well.
Caroline, you bring up a really good point around rewarding your loyal customers. I think that's a great it's a great way to think about a referral program as a retention tool in addition to a customer acquisition tool, because when you reward your customers for bringing you new customers, they're coming back then ostensibly to redeem the rewards that they receive through that referral. So
yeah,
really good point.
Yeah, exactly. And we have really strong performance on the purchases that are made through those referrals. We do have a higher threshold to redeem that promo code. So people are spending a lot and seeing a good breadth of assortment on there. And then the conversion rate is really strong there too. So it definitely speaks to the fact that we're getting really engaged, personalized, relevant communication out there, which is always nice. And we don't have to do a whole lot on the day-to-day, which is even better.
Absolutely. I'm sure you're managing a ton of different channels, as you mentioned.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, no, this is all great. And I think, going into the SMS side of things, I know one of the things that we talk about a lot is one of the hardest things to do with your SMS program, especially starting it from the ground up, is growing that subscriber base, because we do only have one phone number. We're on our phone constantly. So getting the attention of someone, it's a lot more challenging because they don't want to be bombarded with a bunch of different types of text. So, I would love to hear from you. And Caroline, maybe let's start with you. How do you guys value, or how do you value your subscribers, and how important has it been in not only scaling the SMS program, but the business as a whole?
Yeah, it's been really, really pivotal for us. We launched in November 2020. So we were coming off of 6 months of really high growth just from the pandemic in general. And then we were going into a really big Q4 as well. So we were thankfully able to ramp really quickly, and it exceeded our expectations, beyond belief for us. So we ramped up quickly, and then we're able to kind of maintain that growth, which has been really helpful for us. And then the conversion rate is so much higher with SMS, even though our sender list is a lot bigger. With email, our conversion rate's a lot higher with SMS. So really early on, it started competing as a number one, number two channel for us. And then the automated flows have made life very easy and profitable as well. So we'll prioritize those automated journeys, just anything personalized between a win back series or abandoned series, back in stock, price drop notifications, those type of things. We'll give those the priority to send out. And then we try to message our customers about 2 times a week or so, depending on the time of year, with relevant offers or updates. But yeah, that's really been our strategy so far. And I would say within probably 50 days or so, it became a number one, number two channel for us, revenue wise.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was not at all what we were expecting, but very pleasantly surprised because we thought there would be significant overlap with our email channel as well, that it wouldn't quite perform like that. But we were really pleasantly surprised to see that SMS became a preferred method of communicating. And then once we integrated it with our customer service platforms and people could have those two-way conversations, it just became like better and better.
Yeah, no, that's one of the great things about the SMS channel is that the fact that you can actually have a conversation with someone, you can respond to what they're saying, you can take them down a different journey. So when we talk about loyalty too, kind of building that true like emotional loyalty, all of that really helps. So no, I appreciate that, Carolyn. Cass, how about you?
Sure. Well, a lot of what Carolyn just said is resonating for us too. I mean, really, anytime we send an SMS, I like to just sit there and watch Google Analytics live with popcorn and just savor in the moment. But we really put a lot of effort into our customers' experience across the board. One thing that I specifically love with SMS is that you can curate the experience in such a specific and personal way that they wouldn't necessarily get if they're watching your social feed or seeing your ads or anything like that. We can talk to the customer where he or she is and make something that's really meaningful and that scales. So, for example, one thing that's helped us out quite a lot is we look at our data and see, if somebody purchases skin tint, that's pretty much our most known of product. And we know that if somebody purchases it early, they'll have a much higher lifetime value. So we'll tailor that journey and make sure that they're getting messages around their complexion first and really just try to guide the process along and build out their regimen nice and early. And that specific manner of thinking has really helped us just get the most out of our investment. And then same thing, when we're getting referrals through FriendBuy, we know that has more of a social element. So we can tailor that messaging a bit more to show full looks and maybe serve some influencer things. But it's just such a really personal way to communicate with people. And you have so much control, which is really great.
No, those are awesome use cases. And it's nice to know that you don't need Apple TV or Hulu. You can just have Google Analytics and you're good to go. That's fantastic. Yeah. Jamie, how about you?
Yeah, I think there's definitely a push and pull when it comes to, growing your subscriber list. Obviously, so much of the success of the program comes from your list size. I think what we've had to balance, so we've tried multiple ways of increasing our subscriber list. The most successfully by far has just been through on-site pop-ups and offers. We've tried through social. We've tried through a Facebook ad, like sign up for SMS to be entered into a giveaway. Some of these efforts worked, but the leads they generated were just not very valuable. So, if on-site is the right way to go, if that's going to be both the most leads and subscribers we can get and also the most valuable ones, it's just kind of a push and pull of balancing that on-site experience, because people don't like pop-ups and they don't like bubbles, but they also do sign up through them. So we're working on that, and something we're trying now is an on-site quiz. So, kind of find the right laundry product for you. And we're going to test making sign up mandatory to see our results versus optional, just to kind of see how that might help our subscriber growth efforts.
No, that's super helpful. And I appreciate you also talking about some of the challenges that you've had growing that subscriber list. It kind of segues into the next question. So, maybe this is just for Carolyn and Cass, like, are there any other challenges that maybe people who are just starting out their program should be aware of when they're looking at growing that subscriber list or increasing that subscriber rate?
Yeah, we've tried a few different ways to increase that as well. We did social, like a swipe up on Instagram stories, and it didn't amount to very much. But we also tried a QR code on a catalog, back of a catalog with an offer, and that really didn't drive a whole lot either. So I would say like the most substantial thing that we've really done is the pop-up farm. It's like in your face, people are on your site, they're interested, they have an offer. So I would, definitely say That's where we've seen a bulk of our signups. And then challenge-wise, it's such a great, like, easy to use platform. We really don't have a whole lot of challenges that we experience. So I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I will circle back if I think of any, if Cass inspires me.
I probably won't be much help because that hasn't been a problem for us. We have such a great partner at Attentive. Steve has been incredible for us. But as far as bringing in more subscribers, of course, our pop-up has been great. We have a few different iterations going around that are really tailored to what works well for our customer. We also do a little bit of, it's kind of an illusion, but we promulgate. For example, we just had our friends and family sale and we changed our pop-up language to say, subscribe for access to get 20% off. They could have closed out and gotten the same thing, but our rates were surging, which is really great to see. We also run a lot of contests and giveaways. So we'll email out our entire database saying, subscribe for SMS and you can win. For example, we did one of every balmy tint when we launched a new lip product, or our most exciting one that we did, I think just a few weeks ago, was Win the Website, where we picked 10 people to win one of every single product that we give away, which is, $1,500 value loosely. So things like that have been really huge. People engage with it. And we do make sure that when we run these contests that current subscribers know they're automatically entered. They're not getting shunned out of anything. We never want people to regret engaging with our brand. And then I guess the last big thing is that in our first post-purchase flow, we also have an email encouraging people to sign up if they aren't already.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks.
Awesome. So yeah, thanks everyone. I'm actually learning a lot too. So personalization is now, a really hot topic to really target customers with relevant messaging and offers. And it would be really great to learn, what are some of the challenges that you've had as a brand to understand your best customers and communicate with your best advocates. So Cass, I think I'll hand it over to you because I think you've done some interesting things with your the From By and Attentive integration.
Yeah, well, for us personally, just having this integration has been incredible. We're on a headless build, so having all of your programs talk nicely together sounds underrated, but it is so incredibly helpful when you're on this side of things. Unfortunately, this partnership's worked really well for us. So like we mentioned, SMS really is a VIP channel for us. So naturally having people that brag about your brand, having them get first access to everything is really huge. But yeah, we make sure that when somebody subscribes to us and they're doing so through Friend By, that we give them a special journey that's curated just to where they are. The usual welcome flow doesn't really relate to them as much. So we try to focus a little bit more on building that loyalty. For example, in our first Friend By welcome flow message, when somebody subscribes by checking that little box after referring a friend, we let them know that, things essentially worked out for them, that, they've successfully done what they needed to do. And then we defer them to their lookbook. So for example, we say, thanks for shopping with us and telling your friends. We'll send your $20 reward as soon as their order is complete. In the meantime, take a look at how real people wear Ilia. And then by having that real-time data going back and forth after the Friend By flow is complete, and let's say that the friend, has gotten however many reminder emails and notifications that they still have to complete their order, we can send them another SMS saying, thanks so much, or thanks again for subscribing to us. And we'll extend the same welcome offer, 15%, that we'd give any other Attentive subscriber, just because we don't want them to feel like they missed out on that discount just because they tried referring a friend. So just having these really smart cues, working between the systems is really helpful for us.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah. And I think one of the things that you touched on that I wanted to kind of highlight as well is, when people share through the referral program, we can, they can enter their phone number to start sharing, and they're tagged as an advocate in the Attentive platform. When they actually refer a friend and that friend enters their phone number to get a coupon code through the referral program, that phone number also gets added to Attentive and tagged as a referred friend. So you can now kind of understand where who these customers are that are actually subscribing. So that's really cool that you've set up these triggered flows based on kind of where they're coming from. Awesome. Jamie or Carolyn, anything you'd like to add here?
Sure. I think something that we've been thinking about is, in speaking back to that like issue of subscribers and list growth, there's a limited amount of real estate on site, especially for something like a bubble or a ribbon or a pop-up. So I think in the past, we've kind of felt this push and pull between like, do we promote sign up for SMS or do we promote refer a friend? So it's a great part of the integration, which is that, in theory, you don't have to choose between the two because that kind of refer a friend bubble, if it's incentivizing enough, can also be a source of new signups, whether or not they ever end up referring a friend, or whether or not the friend makes that initial purchase. So it's definitely been great. And I think it's exciting as well. We've started doing this and we have a lot in the roadmap ahead, but personalizing the language around referral based on the page someone's on. So as an example, for our sensitive skin and baby detergent, it's an unscented detergent. It's very gentle, but still, a good cleaning product. And we started with this product as the site for a refer a friend, kind of on-site prompt, because a lot of people who are looking for a product like that are more likely to trust referrals from people who've actually used it. If you're looking for something that's not going to irritate your skin or your infant's skin, you often don't necessarily want to take the word of the company. You want to hear from someone who's actually used it. And so we just tested it out. We didn't want to cannibalize other pages, people signing up just for SMS generally, but it's worked really well. And I think it's a really strong opportunity to kind of go page by page, product by product, and think through what is the call to action that might encourage someone to sign up, refer a friend, or even try the product.
I love that. Yeah, I think that's a great way to make the referral program much more personalized based on the products that people are interested in and are likely to refer other people, especially moms. I know refer other moms to things very, very often. So yeah, that's really great to hear.
Yeah, I love that idea of hiding it as like kind of like an Easter egg, like only certain pages that will prompt that. I think that's super smart. And I'm going to like brainstorm our like most shareable collections or pages. I think that's a great idea. And we have it in our site header, just kind of like top real estate. So it's easy to find for people to click on because we do prioritize the pop-up upon getting to site for Attentive and signing up for email and SMS. But our highest value for people sending referrals is right after somebody purchases. We have a pop-up that fires and people are kind of like excited about their purchase and on this little bit of shopping high, and hopefully they had a good experience and are excited to show the brand to their friends and come back. Then we also have it through certain touch points of a post-purchase review request of after somebody received the order and again, hopefully a good experience, they're excited to share it with their friends and family as well.
I love that. Yeah, it's really all about knowing, letting your customers know that you have a referral program and hitting them where it makes the most sense. Like you said, after they provide a positive product review, they're obviously really, really excited about the brand. And that's a perfect opportunity to prompt them to say, hey, by the way, we have a referral program, share with your friends. So that's great that you have all those, touch points set up.
Yeah, no, that is great. And kind of, you guys are doing a great job of foreshadowing some of these upcoming questions. So I want to dive more into the actual integration with Attentive and Friend By that we're so excited about. So you guys have already brought up some really good examples of how to kind of bring SMS and referral marketing to the table together. I know Sam and I are really excited about leveraging a channel like SMS, which has that high engagement and really engaging those most loyal customers in a more personalized way. But just kind of curious, and this really goes to anyone that wants to chime in, like, are there certain things that you guys are looking forward to with the integration that maybe you haven't been able to try out yet, whether it's with subscriber acquisition or even some workflows or journeys that you haven't quite been able to take advantage of throughout the beta?
Yeah, I only set this up last Thursday, so I don't have any data to share yet, but I am really excited about this. It seems like a small thing, but the ability to isolate who, not just who already signed up to potentially be an advocate, even if they haven't successfully shared yet, but as well to know whether or not they've successfully shared anything and Attentive in the segment that way. And then more than anything, to bring their sharing link directly into the message is huge. So I've set up a journey that triggers when someone comes in, and that can kind of repeatedly remind people reasons why they might want to refer friends. Every time it checks whether or not they've referred a friend recently to skip that, and it can pull in that pearl. So all they have to do is just like copy and paste and send to friends. And I have very high expectations. I think on the friend side, again, it's just it makes a world of difference to just tell the friend what their code is in an SMS. A complaint we often hear from customers is that they get their code and it's sent to them via email, and it's just so easy to lose that. So not only to be able to send it in a text where I think it's more accessible, but also to check every couple of days if they've used it or not, and if not, resend them again. Like, you all get the picture. Like, it just makes it a lot less, reduces the friction for both the advocate and the friend.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cass, do you have any journeys that you've leveraged throughout the beta or things that you're excited about moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of spilled the beans already on what I've done. That's pretty much it so far. We're still pretty new to this integration. But I think really just piggybacking off of what Jamie said, we need to do, at least on our team side, our next step is to do more towards getting the friend to convert over. All of our efforts right now are really focused on the advocate. So that's our next move. And I completely agree about having that code in your phone. That's going to be really huge for us. I'm probably going to do that as soon as I hop off this call. But yeah, we're still exploring and learning. And I think between talking to the friend more and using those tags, we'll be able to do quite a lot. Just TBD right now.
Yeah, and I am most excited about being able to communicate with each segment in different ways, but be able to express our gratitude to the person who did refer. Because it is a smaller brand, privately owned, self-funded. So everything just means so much when somebody was out there vouching for the brand. So definitely be able to just kind of express that through text message will be nice, and then have a little bit more brand education to somebody who's potentially new to the brand, to that friend, and use that as an opportunity to kind of share some of the story behind that. And then agree to being able to have the URL right in the text message is super nice, because my emails get lost very quickly, just the amount that I receive. So be able to have it organized in your phone and be able to search the brand and pull that out very easily and quickly, I think is super helpful.
I love the example about the educational content. I think that's great, especially when it's coming from a customer that's already very loyal, right? It just gives your brand, more of that equity that you're looking for to turn that new referral into a more loyal customer. So love the concept of not going right out for the sale, but just trying to get them to understand what the brand is about. If there's any type of mission that you want to explain. So I think that's a great example.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And, I think one thing that we'd love to also learn is how do you promote these programs to get referrals and new subscribers? You have the sign up units on site, you have the referral widget, on the homepage, post purchase, you have all these things on site, but what do you do to actually promote, acquire, to try to get new subscribers and more referrals? So, Cass, I'll hand it over to you first.
Sure. So on SMS, we of course have our pop-up as mentioned. We also do our flow, like our email flows. We have in post-purchase, and we just periodically send out a lot of campaigns about it. And then just the giveaways. I mean, really just those few things that I already kind of mentioned. For Friend Buy, we have a pop-up on the post-purchase screen encouraging people to refer a friend, which has been really helpful for us. We also have some emails going out about it, and our flows will be adding an SMS for our post-purchase flow as well about the program. And then just organically on our site, you can find it from our drop-down menu. And we're also in the near future trying to plan a giveaway. So if you refer a friend, then you get entered to win a wonderful, fabulous prize. And we're also going to be doing some small offers here and there where we bump up the advocate reward. So right now we offer people $20 off their first purchase if they are referred by a friend, and we're going to bump it up for, a day here and there just to make it a little bit more enticing and have it feel a little bit more special.
I love that. So just to plug, in end of July, I think is International Friendship Day. Yeah, so we definitely recommend that our customers do some type of, referral boost for these types of, fun holidays. The referral contests and giveaways are always a really great way to kind of re-engage your advocates to, get them to continue to refer. Well, that's great to hear. Carolyn, how about you?
Yeah. So I think the most impactful thing for us is really it seems counterintuitive, but just getting the traffic to the site to begin with. Has been the biggest bulk of getting subscribers and referrals. But we've noticed definitely when we scale back our Facebook spend or just changes on that platform, we'll see a significant decline in the amount of SMS subscribers and then orders and then referrals. So not directly related to SMS or referrals, but really maintaining the level of traffic and people coming to the site that are I guess just ready to explore the site and are interested and want to take those next steps to consideration. That is what we've seen is the most impactful, is just bringing qualified users to the site.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You want those kind of, high quality, high intent buyers. And it sounds like you have a lot of education around the product you're selling. So I love that you're incorporating that, as Greg mentioned, into your, SMS flows as well. I think that's really important. Excellent. All right. So I'd love to also learn, I think we'd also love to learn, what's worked, what hasn't, and what are you trying next for your incentive structures for your referral program and then for SMS? FriendBuy has a great kind of A/B testing tool. So love to learn if any of you have, launched with a specific incentive and then, decided to A/B test or try a different offer. Jamie, I think you mentioned earlier that you've done a bit of offer testing. So would love to hear from you.
Yeah. So when I joined the Drops team, the incentive structure I inherited was $15 off for the friend and $30 off for the advocate, with minimum purchase requirements for both. So what I tested most recently, I just had a feeling that $15 off is probably hurting our AOV. The minimum purchase requirement might even be hurting our conversion rate. And I wasn't sure if $15 off even really feels that much, even though I think on our site it's a lot. So I tested $15 off against 30% off, which in our industry, 30% off is rarely going to equate to $15 at drops.com. But we found that share rates stayed the same and conversion rates went up revenue went up, AOV went up. And I think it's mostly because with only 30% off, we were able to ditch the minimum purchase requirement. And this is, by the way, all testing on the friend incentive. We didn't touch the advocate one. We haven't touched it yet. So we made that switch permanent. I've seen a noticeable improvement in the program since making it permanent, let alone since turning on the test. So that's been really exciting. I did recently kind of do a look back to several years before I joined NetDrops and found that we used to offer $25 off for the advocate instead of 30, and that switching it to 30 didn't improve our program at the time. So I think it's probably time to test that again, maybe revert to a lower advocate reward as well. I think the philosophy on our team had been, the bigger the incentive, the more people will refer, or the higher the conversion rate. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I think there's certain numbers that might speak to people. I think you have to think about your incentives relative to your AOV. And you have to think about things like a minimum purchase requirement and your free shipping minimum. If we have a minimum purchase requirement that is lower than our free shipping minimum, that can be an unpleasant experience for customers to go like, okay, I hit the minimum, but then now I'm going to have to pay shipping. So it's hard to kind of like know what that sweet spot is without testing it. So I definitely recommend using that A/B testing tool. And then I'll also throw out a test we did on the attentive side. So just our kind of like new customer sign up for SMS, get a offer. We were doing 15% off and tested 20%. So kind of the opposite effect here. We did find that the increase in both sign up rate and conversion rate, switching from 15 to 20%, really far outweighed the change in kind of our margins from changing that code. So we made that switch permanent. 20%, every time I look at it, it feels like a lot for new customers, but we tested it and that was what worked. So at least for now, we're going to stick with that.
That's so great to hear. And I think you really hit on something that I would love to highlight too, is, what we've seen at FriendBuy, just, running referral programs for the last 10 years, is that there's this rule of 100 in marketing, where if a product's price is the AOV is under $100, a percentage-based discount will appear more attractive to customers. So likewise, if your product's AOV is over $100, offering $1 off is a little bit more attractive. So just something to consider as you're thinking about your offer structures.
Yeah, and I love what Ebony said in the chat. Jamie, you're kind of leveraging psychology in your A/B testing, right? Just like it's not necessarily what's the most advantageous, just what sounds the best, and it's helping you guys get more of a profit out of it too. So that's very cool. Well, we only have one more question, and I know we have some really great questions in the chat, so I want to make sure we get to those too. So just to kind of put a bow on our conversation right now, this goes to all of you. Jamie, we'll start with you. What's one tip you'd give to a brand that's trying to scale today and optimize for those low CPAs?
I would say if you're not doing SMS marketing yet, you should start it. Like people have said, it does take time to build that list. And, a lot of the return is going to come from the automation process, which is great once you've set it up, but it does take a time investment to set it up, to optimize and to test it. So I would get started with it. And if you do use some of these programs, but haven't started testing and automating, invest in doing that.
That's great. And I promise, audience, I did not tell Jamie to say that. So, Cass, how about you?
I think my biggest tip is to just really think gritty, find creative ways to use the tools that you have and just test to see what works best for you. I found, with just about every program that we work with, a lot of the vendors offer really great out of the box solutions, but sometimes we want to get a little bit more specific. And the way that things are presented, it usually isn't the only way to work. So don't be afraid to A/B test and just, get a little bit more creative than just taking what's presented.
Great. Carolyn.
Cool. I would say don't be afraid of frequency. I think we've always been very cautious about over emailing, over messaging, over like getting in front of your customers. But I think with the way things have changed so much in the last few years, that multiple touch points aren't a bad thing. And with like the ever distracted consumer, they're actually kind of a good thing to keep top of mind and remind customers in a like valuable way. But we've definitely seen that with email and SMS that people come to your site because they're interested, they ordered because they like you, they refer because they had a great experience, and you're not bothering them by messaging them and sending them updates. So I would encourage you to play around with frequency and not be discouraged that you're going to bother people or annoy them or have negative feedback. We have much more positive feedback than negative. So yeah, I would encourage you there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's sometimes a misconception that like if someone who opts into your SMS program, if you email, I mean, obviously you don't want to email them text them every day, but you know, it is your loyal customers that are subscribing. They're subscribing because they're genuinely interested in learning about the brand and they're willing to get that text message onto their device. So yeah, I love not being afraid of being able to message them and test the messaging. And Cass, I also really like what you said too about how like nothing fits in that perfect box. Every brand is different, and it's really important for brands to really differentiate themselves from their competitors so that they're more likely to want to subscribe to your program or refer friends to that brand instead of all the other brands out there. So those are awesome tips.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. All right, we're going to get into some of the questions you asked. So the first question is directed to Jamie. How is your SMS subscriber longevity compared to email? Have you found ways for SMS subscribers to stay longer?
Yeah, I think I probably universally SMS unsubscribe rate is going to be higher than email unsubscribe rate. A lot of that has to do with like, if you have Gmail, you can set up your inbox so the promotional emails, you just like literally never see them and you can't even be bothered to unsubscribe. So I think I wouldn't be alarmed if you have a higher unsubscribe rate for SMS than you do for email. I think it says more about email than it does about SMS. And my philosophy is kind of, if someone unsubscribes from SMS, then that's good for me. It's good for them. I don't want to be bothering someone who's not interested anymore. I don't want to be spending money to text someone who's not interested anymore. So in terms of longevity, I do think that texting at a consistent and predictable frequency is important. You never want to send back-to-back messages, but you also don't want to go a month without texting someone because then they finally see that message and they're like, oh, I forgot I was subscribed to this, or like, I don't want this anymore. So just building kind of expectations. I think our rule of thumb is once to twice a week, and any given subscriber is receiving more for your messages depending on their behaviors. And I think that is a good strategy as well. If someone just purchased or just abandoned their cart, they're in a state of being very engaged with you, and it's not a bad thing to send them more messages around that time. That's when they expect and want to hear from you. If someone just purchased something maybe 2 weeks ago, maybe leave them alone, let them enjoy the product, send some occasional educational or helpful messaging around getting the best out of their product, but wait, to send them offers or encourage them to come back until they're likely to need to. So those are some of the ways I think about that.
Awesome.
Very cool. Well, this next question comes from Brian. Brian asks, do you have preferred order post-purchase flows? For example, order confirmed, to refer a friend, to leave a review. Like, is there, and we talked a little bit about this in the chat, but like, is there sort of a preferred flow that someone would want to talk about that's worked well?
My welcome flow is my baby. I've never met a welcome flow that I didn't like, but that usually tends to be our highest converter. And it's where we put a lot of emphasis. It's where we talk about even new products, things like that. So we do so many continual, I guess, campaigns to bring people in to our subscription program, to where what maybe feels, repetitive for us is all new for them. So that's what we're a big fan of.
Classic welcome flow. I'm right there with you. Cool. And anyone else have a favorite flow?
Yeah, I would say, I'm not sure this is like focused on post-purchase or anything like that, but I would say we have done research into like the timeline around if a customer is going to come back, when they're likely to rebuy, and then kind of looking at that churn timeline and trying to strategically hit them around those windows, like giving them a chance to come back on their own. But once they start getting more dangerously close, kind of increase the offer that was given, just to hopefully not have them drop off, and giving them some incentivizing things to come back and make another purchase. So I would say our post-purchase flow on both SMS and email is kind of centered around like that data of when people are likely to drop off, if they are going to come back, and then when we can sort of consider them lost. And at that point, we have a win back campaign for that as well.
I've definitely taken advantage of a win back incentive too.
Yeah.
So those are definitely successful. Cool. So I know we also talked about this earlier in the panel, but what type of referral reward offers have you found to be most effective? We talked about discounts, but are you or are any of you implementing things like free shipping or third-party gift cards or anything like that to encourage repeat referral behavior, and then also incentivize referred friends to convert faster?
I like that idea.
Cool. So it sounds like all of you are leveraging discounts toward future purchases as your referral reward, and then you're playing around with the incentive amount or the reward amount. So that's great. It makes sense. You want people to come back to your site. I would say if you're a brand that sells one SKU or a product that has a low repeat purchase rate, offering a third-party gift card as a referral reward is a great way to get people to continue to refer. So just, food for thought there.
I know we are at time. Sam, do we have time for one more question, or should we announce the winner of the AirPods before everyone leaves?
Yeah. There was a very quick question somebody asked about the integration, and I just want to highlight real quick. The question was, are the tags dynamic? So once a friend buys and then they share, do they turn into an advocate and vice versa? Yes, we update the subscriber profiles tag depending on whether they're an advocate, and then maybe they become a friend and vice versa. Cool. But yeah, Greg, do you want to announce the winner of the Apple AirPod Pros?
Yeah, does someone want to give me a drum roll? The winner of the AirPods is Jennifer Winkowski. Jennifer, I hope you're still on. If not, I guess we'll have to give it to someone else. But no, in all seriousness, congratulations. We'll email you afterwards and let you know how to get those AirPods. So congrats.
Yeah. Congratulations. Awesome. And that's it for today. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us. We hope you learned some tips you can implement today. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks to Greg and our panelists for a really awesome webinar.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.